Hey, what's up guys, aarava here. Welcome back to another episode of my F1 2019 Managed Career Mode here with Red Bull for round number 6 at the Canadian Grand Prix in this season. If you guys did miss the previous one, then be sure to go check that one out before you see this one. But entering Canada, obviously last episode, well, from real reaction, a controversial episode then where I let Verstappen, spoiler alert now, if you haven't seen that episode, let Verstappen win that race. Our two drivers were probably in both positions to win that one, but using team orders to let Wehrlein, to make Wehrlein let Verstappen through. Reaction, obviously not that great from you guys, but to be fair, you guys can be very confusing sometimes because you jump back only but a moment ago, like 3 episodes ago, saying that I need to focus more on Verstappen. Why am I focusing too much on Wehrlein? And then 3 episodes later, it's vice versa. It's classic YouTube comments. It just never makes any sense, really. But no, I mean, in my opinion, I think Verstappen deserved to at least get one win, even if it wasn't maybe the fairest win, you know, being let through. He deserved a win because he's had so much bad luck and just crap happened to him that it wasn't any of his fault, really. A lot of it was kind of my mistakes, and then some of them was kind of pure luck of if he's going to get, you know, a battery broken or whatever in the pit lane or whatnot. And in the end, it hasn't affected the championship, to be fair. I mean, you know, Wehrlein's still 26 points ahead of Rossi. Verstappen is now up into 3rd place, so all in all, it really did not affect anything whatsoever. Championship-wise, we still got some good points in the Constructors. Red Bull, 27 points ahead of Ferrari. So, yeah, I mean, for me, it really wasn't. It was a non-issue, to be honest. From now on, obviously, now that Verstappen does have 1 win to Wehrlein's 2. Now I'm not too fussed. Now Verstappen's got 1 win under his belt, then it's fair game now. I just wanted him to get 1 win because he pretty much lost out on maybe 2 wins already this season. So he's got 1 at least now. But now, you know, there's no point now putting any team orders on because he's got 1 win at least. And also you got to remember, he is our reigning world champion. I'm not just going to throw that under the bus because we've got a new guy coming in and he's been pretty damn good. You know, in terms of just paying him back for doing what he did last season for us. But it's a 1-2, so it didn't really matter. I mean, it would have been the same points for the championship, constructors-wise, either way, which is, of course, the thing we focus on more here in the manager career mode is the constructors. The drivers' championship is a little bit secondary. Yeah, anyway, 1-2. I'm going to say that middle answer there. Morale's still all good with Wehrlein, so yeah, I mean, Wehrlein, if you look back at what our drivers have signed, Wehrlein has signed a number 2 contract. Verstappen signed an equal one, but Wehrlein has technically signed a number 2 contract. So also at the same time, he's not ever going to be too fussed about that in-game. Pit crew-wise, we don't need to hire anyone because obviously the auto is doing a stellar job. So we'll just reject everyone and we'll move forward then with our car. And we've got a brand new suspension bar that's been made. We need to wait for our car to be repaired though for us to actually implement that into our new system. And then what else do I want to make? I'm not too sure. But first of all, we need to make sure we get this suspension part up to scratch. So we're going to remove both those. Going to add that one on. And I can't add performance here. But what's nearly done? That's nearly done. That's 3 points off being done. So I'll add that suspension on. And I'll move that to... yeah, I'll keep it at 33.2, that's pretty good. 3 days before the race, that performance will be done. That's pretty damn sweet. So suspension, we can probably still work on more suspension, so let's go for it. So we'll go for 25 to max. Is that going to be the best option? Yeah, that's going to be 6 points ahead. And then these are pretty terrible, but that's the best one to go for, I would say. Plus 40. Minus 20 on reliability. That's the best one we can do. So that'll be done 10 days before the race. So that'll be done again before Canada. So that's pretty damn good. So design that part. We'll move forward then and see how we go. That suspension is going to be made just about then. So we can just check how the first suspension part we made is going. And then also this brand spanking new one here. As we've got F2 at Canada before we go to Canada, actually. A lot of times it's quite a delayed calendar. Right. New suspension part's been made. Let's check this out. Right. That's definitely the best one we got. So now let's remove this. That's 2 points off the max. Add that on, because that definitely needs reliability work. We're going to remove these front wings, because that's all fine. And I'm going to allocate a bit more resource to the reliability tree, 18 to 17. Design another new part. Still 3rd on suspension, so let's just deep dive into suspension even more. Go for these 2 again. Then we've got... that's a little bit annoying. We've got a risk level... this one's okay. Plus 40 during the race. which obviously we've only got a race right now, so we may as well go for that. So let's build that part. So the reliability may be it's going to be -10 during the race as well, reliability. So that suspension part might be on the teetering edge of annoying to use, but it's still going to be pretty damn good, and it's going to get made before Canada. So we've made we've had 3 different suspension parts being made before the Canadian Grand Prix. That's pretty damn sweet. So we'll now improve this part, and let's see how this goes. So this is 1, 2, 3, 6. But additional 40 during the race. So during the race, it will be, well, straight away it would be 1, 2, 7, 6, which is going to be the best part we've got. And it can still go to a maximum of 1, 2, 9, 6, plus 40 onto that. So that's pretty damn sweet. So I'm going to remove this part, add that on, remove that, add that on. Gonna remove these engines, go all the way to reliability, and just try and hammer that through for the last few days. Probably won't be able to use this suspension part by the time we get through, but yeah, we'll see. We'll move through a few days. But again, another part to design maybe. Suspension, we're still third. We're getting quite close to the edges here. We're first for a lot of things, but suspension's still the only thing we need to work on. So we'll just deep dive into that again. Let's go for the same options, but then here, what can I go for? Driver consistency +2 during that's a bit of a weird one, isn't it? I guess I'll just go for instead. I won't get an iteration, but there's no point getting iteration because we don't have a legendary unlock. So I can go for +60 and then remove the risk cost. So I think that's a pretty good one. That'll take 21 days, though, so that's going to be a fair amount of time. So I think it's worth it, though. So it's going to take 2 million because we have to spend 1 million to remove the risk level, but I think it's worth it. We'll move through into Vancouver then. I don't think we can use that suspension, though, can we? 70%? It's all right. It's all right. We could probably use that, actually. So let's move forward then. Canada, All-Star. Heavy rain in practice, apparently clear in race, so maybe the rain might bleed over into the race. High tire wear, of course, so we'll go with 5 Ultras, but even with the refueling, we won't matter too much. So let's go for 6 sets of supers. We'll go for 3 sets of softs. I'll go for 6 there. Part fitting wise, let's have a look then. Let's spread this out a bit more now. So we got Verstappen with the brakes. Engine I'll give to Verstappen. Front wing I'll give to Wehrlein. So which is the best part? That one. So I'll give that one to Verstappen. Gearbox wise, not going to use this one. Wehrlein can use this one, and then Verstappen can use that one. And is that the next best one we've got? Yeah, but that's a red zone one actually. So I'm going to go with that one actually in the end, because I can't use that. So obviously, well, yeah. So what we got at the moment then? So we got Verstappen, Wehrlein, Verstappen, and then I'll give this one to Wehrlein. So suspension part there. I'll give that one to... This looks like it's the better one, but this is actually the better one during the race, because +40 will be 1287 compared to 1253. So Wehrlein will have the better suspension eventually in the race. In practice, Verstappen will have the better one, but eventually this perk will come in. So that's pretty equally spread, actually, as you can see by the chart there. So like I said, both delighted. You know, he's still got that number 2 driver contract, but I'm not going to fuss around with it anymore. Verstappen's got his 1 win, so I'll just see what happens now, really. I'm not too fussed about it. As long as we can try and keep on beating the cars around us, then I'm all happy, to be fair. Alright, going to start doing knowledge on the super soft tyres, because I'm not too sure. The Ultras actually are so easy to wear out that they might actually not go as long as the fuel tank. So just going to go on the super softs for now, and then we'll try and get the knowledge in on the Ultras as well. But good to be back here. Obviously, I think I said last episode, or at least maybe 2 episodes ago, that the last 3 episodes were all pre-recorded, like a week in advance. So it's been like a good week since I've played this game. So good to be back. Good to see our lovely little silver and red Bull Porsche car. And let's see how this goes then. But after a week away, I don't know if hopefully the knowledge hasn't fallen out of my head of how to play this game. I never used to be able to play it well anyway, but let alone not playing it for a week. So let's see how this goes. But setup-wise, hopefully we'll be okay. Bring them both in, check them. We've got a setup from 2-3 seasons ago with Renault, but it seemed to be pretty okay last season, I think, maybe. Let's see how this goes then. Pretty okay baseline, I would say. Both drivers in the same stead, so just a bit more downforce tweaking needed, maybe. I don't know which way. It looks like they want to go for higher downforce. I would say that would be higher downforce. Even though Canada is a low downforce circuit in reality, I'm going to go for higher downforce there, it would seem like. Handling-wise, keep the same, so I need to try and get this back to where we were. And then speed balance, that was great. So that honestly might be the excellent we need. So let's go for 8 laps then. I'll go out and just kind of hope that that's going to be it. And we'll just take a gamble and get the knowledge on the tyres instead. Same thing for Wehrlein, it seems like, maybe. More downforce. I mean, he can go a lot lower there, but because Verstappen's gone high, I would say Wehrlein needs to go high as well. Handling-wise, we could probably go a little bit more towards here, because I think Verstappen was around that region, more like. And the speed balance, he was actually excellent, so that's all good. So let's just try and tweak this back here. So go for 8 laps as well. Tyre choice, super soft, let's go. Right, rain started to come down in the practice session. I completely forgot there was going to be any rain in this session. It said heavy rain. I said that, and I forgot about it. But setup-wise, we're not looking too great. Looks like we have to go low downforce, which makes sense, because like I said, Canada is a low downforce circuit. But, you know, the little green bar deceived me then with Verstappen. So let's go back to where we were, and then go lower downforce. So go towards more like that. Something like that would be excellent. Just trying to balance out these wings and see how we go. Like something like that, I think. That was good, so that's probably excellent. Right on the teetering edge. Handling-wise, we're fine. That was good. That was great. So we went backwards there. So we're kind of where we want to be now. Because if that was great, that might be excellent. Because going that way was the wrong way. I'll go out for Inters now. I mean, that's all I can do because it is going to be Inters period now. So send him out. Wehrlein, same thing. Probably gone the wrong way. Yep. Went the wrong way. Let's revert back, set up. So both guys got that wrong, but tyre-wise, we've got super soft knowledge and race trim, so we're set up for the race. We'll go lower downforce now and go back to where we need to be. That was good, so I'm going to say that's going to be, like, excellent, I would say. And then handling was better where we were, so let's stick with something like that. Actually, yeah, let's just go with that, because that might be excellent then. And then speed balance was fine, so let's go back to that. Try and get that sorted. Yep, that's all good. Okay, I think that's a good way to go about it. I think that should be an okay setup, hopefully. Let's see. We'll go 4 laps on Inters, but I'll bring them straight back in because don't need to bother with too much Inter knowledge because I don't know. The rain's at the end of practice here, so it might bleed into the race, but I think majority of the race will... Oh, Jesus, what the hell was that? DaCosta just span in front of me with Wehrlein. That was very odd. But... I would say, because it said forecast was clear for the race, more than likely the race will be a lot drier than wetter, so we'll take in the tried tyre knowledge we've got, so I don't need to bother about getting too much into knowledge. So just check the setups. We've got 2 excellents and a good now, so now I just need to fine-tune the speed balance here. But we've got 96% saying that, so all I need to do is get the speed balance back to where we were, and then we're all golden. Literally just that little tweak could be it. That was good. So I'm just going to keep it there to go for 2 excellents and a great there for Verstappen. So now I'll just send him out and leave him out there. And then Wehrlein, we're on 2 greats and 1 excellent. So just need a little tweak somewhere. And we could be on 2 excellents and a great. We didn't have an excellent anywhere else though. So I don't know where to tweak this to be honest. That's good. That's excellent. That's great. So I'm going to say maybe just a little bit low on the downforce. That might be excellent. Let's just see. Little tweak like that. The only annoying issue is the gearbox is going to change a little bit now. Let's revert that and let's just change the front wing a tad. Yeah, just a tiny tweak there. And let's go out. Right, race time then. Random grid time. Where are we going to be? I don't think I see us high up. Might be there. I don't know. Looking at the grid, there's a McLaren high up there. We're P3. Yeah, so it was that. I chose correctly. That little blur of red and grey was Verstappen up in 3rd place. Wehrlein's in P14 then. Where is everyone else then? Let's have a look here. Where are the Ferrari cars? Hamilton's right next to us in P4. Interesting. Leclerc and the Williams. Where is Rossi's P9 in the Ferrari? And DaCosta's P12 in the other Ferrari with P14. Pretty good spread then for us in terms of who we're fighting in the championship. Going to go for super soft knowledge because that's the one we've got. Rain-wise, like I said... Ooh, actually, hang on. Okay. I was wrong then. There will be a little bit of rain, but like I said, majority of the race will be dry. So there will be rain to start off with, but then it will get completely dry. So then we'll use the super soft knowledge. But we'll start on the ultras, despite having knowledge on super softs, because we're gonna have to pit in very soon. So you may as well go with the fastest tire available. Attack, overtake. I just want to quickly check how the fuel tank is. What kind of fuel? 21 laps. Okay, interesting. 21 laps. We're going to have to probably fill up at least... We're going to have to fill up a little bit when we make the pits off for Inters, just to make sure we cover the entire Inter stint. And then we'll get to the end and we'll see how we go. But let's just go for it then. I can already see, though, I might be a little bit rusty on the fuel saving, so let's just see how this goes then. To 5 red lights to the Canadian Grand Prix, P14 and P3 on the grid. 5 lights are out, and we're on the way, and it's a bit of a slow start there for Verstappen. Good one for Hamilton. We've got, what on earth? We've got one of the Porsche cars, or Audi, I think that is, of Hyman on Inters. So he's the only one, or she's the only one on Inters. That's a bit odd. Okay, cool. Good luck with that experiment, my man, or my woman. But we're up into P3 now with Verstappen. The rain's already coming down, but we're just going to push flat out because may as well. Let's use all the ERS here on this lap then and try and push in for a good in-lap, basically, onto Inters as Wehrlein gets up into P8, so he's done bits. Wehrlein was like P16 there. He's gone up to P8, so that's very good. Verstappen's now up into P2. Let's now save that ERS for both those cars. Are we going to come in yet? Is Hamilton going to pit in? That's the question. If he comes in, I'll come in, but I don't think he is. So, no, we'll continue on with Hamilton and push on. It's still not damp enough, so let's just continue to push on. Driving mistake by Wehrlein, but he's still P7. It's now time for Inters. Yeah, I concur. Inters, fuel options, I won't fill up with Verstappen. No need to. Park condition is all good. I'm not going to recharge the battery. Don't want to take that risk. Fast pit stop, 2-second pit stop, and that should allow Wehrlein to easily also double stack and pit with us here. Fuel options for him. Also not going to pit for fuel, just tyres, because fuel-wise, we should be good to get to the end of that inter period, to be honest, actually. So we should be good. We're going to go down to high and high just to make sure of that. They'll come in now with both drivers. Hamilton is... I don't know if Hamilton came in. Did Hamilton come in? I can't even see. But Verstappen's in. Wehrlein's in. Right. Quick pit stop, lads. Good. Awesome. No double stack penalty there for our drivers. Wehrlein's in. Good stuff. Right. We come out and we are in P4 and P8. And Hamilton, Hulkenberg and Ricciardo have not pit in for Inters. Interesting. So let's see. We've already overtaken one person. We've already overtaken Ricciardo. And we will, just about get into first place there. No, don't look at Wehrlein. Why are we looking at Wehrlein when Verstappen just made a move for the Grand Prix? He's up into first place. Go on, son. Right. We've got how many laps till dries? Probably lap 14, I would say. So we've got 9 laps left to the dry period. So let's just push on with the fuel and go pushing on that, on the tyres as well. Auto. Wehrlein, let's have a look at you then, mate. 4th place, now up to 3rd. He just overtook Hyman in the Audi car. I'm pretty sure it's the Audi. Rossi's just got up into 4th place as well in the Ferrari car. So the Ferraris have arrived a little bit here. Hamilton is right there, though. For the first time this season, Hamilton's looking, actually quite competitive here. So let's see how this goes. But for now, just trying to control this race then from 1 and 3. Let's see if Wehrlein can close up to Hamilton. Right, sit rep on lap 14. Apparently, our driver's saying the track's drying out pretty damn fast, and we got 5.7 gap to Hamilton. Verstappen's done a stunning job, to be honest. Wehrlein has closed up on Hamilton a little bit. You can see, though, the tyre temp's a little bit higher than Verstappen, so we're not pushing right now. I did go like 2 laps of full-out attack in overtake mode to try and close up the gap a little bit. It didn't close up too much, but it did get us away from Rossi. But now I think it's time for dry tyres. Verstappen could make that pit stop right now, so let's go for it. And I think we should be able to double stack again. I would say let's go to super softs now. We've got 39 laps left. So that's definitely 2 sets of fuel, basically. Because we fill up the tank. That's 20 laps. Gives us, 40 laps of fuel. So we can get to the end on a one stop now. And use super softs. Because I think just it gives us a better leeway for the tyre wear, basically. I'm not going to recharge the battery again. Go for fast. I'll take 5 seconds. And Wehrlein is 8 seconds back. So that should be just about fine for the double stack. So let's go as well. Super softs, fill up the fuel, no recharge, fast pit stop. Right, let's go. Verstappen's in. And hopefully a good pit stop, no mistakes. Yes, all good. Yeah, all good. And Wehrlein straight in. So no hindrance there on the double stack. Let's go medium fuel though on the exit. Let's go pushing on the exit with the outlap. And Hamilton's also pit, but he's onto Ultras. He's the only man in this top 5 that's onto Ultras. So I think we've gone the right way for strategy, to be honest. I think everyone's thinking the same thing. The Ultras are just going to wear out way too much, to be honest, for anyone's liking. So I think we should be good for that. But let's push the fuel with Wehrlein. I want to try and close up and try and get this 1-2 sealed if we can. And try and overtake Hamilton if we can. Come on, Wehrlein. Let's show the pace you've got. Alright, sit up on lap 25, 28 laps to go. Verstappen still P1, 2.4 the gap to Hamilton. Verstappen, I feel like, it's been held up by a lot of traffic here because the gap was about 4.5 seconds. So Hamilton's closed up in that traffic. But he's also, remember, on the faster tyre, and that's going to wear out pretty quickly. He's going to have to pit within the next few laps, really, whereas we're going to go on for a lot longer, at least 10 more laps. Wehrlein, the gap is about 5 seconds to Hamilton. So we closed it down a little bit, but even with pushing him a lot more, like literally I went like 2 laps with full attack and overtake mode to burn a bit more fuel. He's still not really closed up too much, so that's a bit frustrating, but hopefully naturally we'll overtake him on this strategy, because maybe at the end of the stint he'll really start to wear out his tyres. I don't know. Hamilton's pushing not that much actually in reality. So you saw there the gap went to 1.9 to Verstappen, so I think that literally just was that traffic, unfortunately. Yeah, and P19, you can see there, that Racing Point car holding up Hamilton now. So the traffic really is making a big difference here, 1.5 the gap. So, yeah, just like in real life, blue flags definitely needed quite a lot of the time sometimes, and he started shouting that to the team radio. But saying that now, Wehrlein's also closing up a little bit. 4 seconds the gap now to Hamilton. I say let's push a little bit more now with Wehrlein, try and close that up. Obviously, that will make the fuel a little bit more iffy. We'll have to watch out for maybe an earlier pit stop for fuel for Wehrlein, but I want to desperately try and get Hamilton. Oh, and Hamilton's used all his ERS here at the end of his stint, I think. This must be at the end of his stint, so let's go full out attack with Verstappen then and try and push away from Hamilton, because, oh, he's passed us. He's used all the ERS there. Let's get back at him if we can. Let's use ERS back at him, try and get him back if we can. Come on. There we go. Re-overtaking, but now we've got no ERS to use. And also, we've used a lot of fuel and tyre wear to try and keep Verstappen ahead. But interesting, Hamilton pushing very, very hard. And he's going to go again down the inside of turn 1. This is very weird because, you know, he's going to have to pit now within a lap or two. Maybe that's why he's pushing so hard, because he knows he has to pit in. Whereas we're going to continue on for a few more laps here. So Hamilton, no, he still goes on. How's he got pace now? His tyre wear must be horrendous. 21% tyre wear, and he's pushing on like that. Let's go full out attack and push with him. Right, we're back in first place. The tyre wear really kicked in for Hamilton there, and he's now pits. So that's all good. You got yellow flags coming in. We're going to go pushing for Wehrlein, wanting to save some fuel with him, because you can see that he's got about 1 whole lap less of fuel than Verstappen, but Verstappen's now conserving his tyres, and we're going to try and stretch this stint a little bit more. And we probably could go to ultras, you know. Maybe, I don't know. Let's see. Right, Wehrlein's got low fuel. He has to come in this lap, so let's go pushing. And we'll pit in now. We've got 18 laps remaining, so we fill up. We've got extra fuel to burn, so that's good. I will burn that for Wehrlein. I'm going to risk it for a chocolate biscuit. Go with 50% charge. Really push him in. And we're going to go for a, well, ultras should be fine. So let's go ultras. Let's really hammer it with Wehrlein. Let's use the ERS on entry if we can as well. Now save some up. And I'll burn all the fuel as we come in. And we are all good. We're coming in, and Verstappen will continue on for a few more laps here. Right, Wehrlein's in. Good pit stop, please. No mistake, no mistake. Don't break the battery, don't break the battery. Ah, battery broken. Every time, man. This is actually just so stupid. It's such a stupid mechanic. Why put in the risk of recharging if pretty much every time it's going to break? Why? Okay, cool. We're just doing this with fuel now. We are only 1 second behind Hamilton, so he's had a very bad outlap, so let's go for it. Meanwhile, Verstappen, he's going to have to come in this lap as well. And let's go into ultras as well. Fuel option, fill up. We'll fill up a little bit less to make sure we can make a good fast pit stop. Recharge the battery, no. And come in. Right, that's frustrating with Wehrlein. Part of me knew that the battery was going to break, but I thought also, you know what? It's a 50% chance, maybe, so maybe not. But there you go. Right. Tyres, fuel, come on. And we are still out in first place by about 4 seconds. Looking good. Right. Excess fuel to burn. Let's go pushing and pushing. Wehrlein's going full out attack mode to try and close up to Hamilton. Of course, we don't have any ERS to help us out here, so just have to do this au naturel with the fuel and tyres. And it's going to prove difficult, maybe. Right, 11 laps to go in this Grand Prix then. Verstappen still first by 2.4. The gap's gone back up to 5 seconds with Hamilton to Wehrlein. So Hamilton's just got some really good pace on the ultras. And I suspect the ERS is also not helping us here. But we are coming back at him a little bit with pushing and fuel burning. But at the same time, we've got 9 laps left. We've got 10 laps of fuel. So at some point, we'll burn all the excess fuel off here with Wehrlein. So that's a bit unfortunate. Verstappen's looking good. He's not even pushing his tyres too much, and he's still got some good excess fuel left. About 3 laps worth, actually, so he's very good. Right, I feel like my tyres are going to be in good nick here. 5 laps remaining. Hamilton is on 21% wear, whereas we're on 40. I think we should be good to pressurise Hamilton in this race. If not, Hamilton making a late pit stop at the end of this race. So let's watch out for that. Keep the fuel in the tank for the last 3 laps of this Grand Prix and just watch how this goes. Same thing with the tyres for Wehrlein. I'm going to go medium fuel with Verstappen as well, just to be careful. Right, 3 laps remaining. Once we get to 2 laps, I'll start pushing the fuel because we should be fine then to get to the end. Raikkonen's got mechanical failure, engine failure there. Right, conserving, flat attack. Let's go. Wehrlein now. Big push. He's up into P2 already. Hamilton has made a late pit stop there. So Wehrlein is up into P2. All good. So actually, you know what? We don't need to push it too much. We've got the 1-2 secured. Very, very good stuff there. 2 1-2s in a row. Very nice stuff. Final lap of the Grand Prix. Let's go for the fast lap of the Grand Prix then with both these guys and see how they can do. Right, Verstappen's going to come through the last bend here as we got low fuel delta there. It's fine though. He comes through and he wins the Canadian Grand Prix. 2 wins in a row for Verstappen. Good on you, son. Good work, mate. And Wehrlein, P2. Good recovery drive and good to stick with Hamilton there and get the 2nd place. So 2 1-2s in a row, and that time it was fair and square. Verstappen just did the better job. Of course, though, Verstappen started P3, whereas Wehrlein started P14, went down to P16, had to overtake like 10 cars in 2 laps. So it was always going to be a little bit of an easier time for Verstappen. But Wehrlein's done a good job, P2 there. And it's going to be a very strong race for the championship. Ferrari again beaten by Mercedes. So Mercedes have finally come back in and swung through the momentum there. And so that's going to help us in that fight against Ferrari. And Rossi, what on earth happened to him? He's got no tyre wear, a broken car, and he's using ERS. I don't know what on earth's going on with him. He's not even finished the race yet. But he's going to finish up in P6 just about. Right, and then in the end, Hamilton got the fast lap of the Grand Prix, which is, well, it's been a while, actually, since he's been able to do that, so fair play. But we got the 1-2, gold and silver, so championship-wise, Verstappen's now P2 in the championship, 34 points off Wehrlein, 1-2 in the drivers, looking very good. And Red Bull, we're 52 points ahead of Ferrari and Merc there, so we're looking very nice, very, very nice. Obviously, we're first place right now, but like I think someone commented below, but it seems like the game does seem to have a bit of a diminishing returns once you're in first place here. So our upgrades aren't doing as much as other teams, so let's just watch out for it. You never know, Ferrari and Mercedes could come back at us with upgrades. 1.8 though in the bank, looking good. So for now, pretty damn happy, can't complain. Everything was pretty much perfect in that race, barring the fast lap of the Grand Prix. So guys, if you did enjoy that episode, be sure to smash the like button. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. If you're new around here, subscribe for weekly 4-1 content. I've been aarava. Have a nice day. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.